right, good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to another session of Beyond the Norms. It's really nice to have you guys here again. Our last conversation was a very fiery, very controversial one. It got a lot of people speaking, and personally, I was really, really happy to see a lot of people engaging in the conversation because I feel like these are some of the things that we should be speaking more about. I feel like these are some of the uncomfortable questions that not everyone is comfortable speaking about. And I feel like that is what Beyond the Norms is here to do. We are here to ask the uncomfortable questions. And I would like to also reiterate the point that we are not here to take sides. We are not here to, condemn any side. We are just here to ask the uncomfortable questions and to primarily seek to better understand some of these norms that we met on this planet Earth that we are in. So we have today again with us, as usual, I have my co-host with me, Ikena and Victor. We also have a very special guest who was with us during the last episode. It was somebody that a lot of our listeners were really, really excited to have, and based on popular demand, I guess, they wanted him back. So we have with us Mr. Tochukwu. Tochukwu, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
So Ike, welcome. Victor, welcome. Welcome back to the show again.
Yes, it's an honor to be here. Glad to be back.
Thank you. Thank you.
So today we want to speak on another controversial topic, if I dare say so myself. We would be speaking on equality between men and women, and we would be exploring, feminism, how it cuts across topics like religion, politics, marriage, and the like. So we are trying to ask the question, are men and women equal? So I would like to first of all start by laying the foundation and, putting down some coordinates so that we can know exactly where we are headed with this conversation. So I would like to just throw the question to the house. When we ask the question, are men and women equal? What do we mean? Are we talking about equality in terms of their roles, equality in terms of their responsibility, equality in terms of their value, their rights? What exactly do we mean?
Okay, let me start by saying that equality actually means sameness in different regards. And for me, I actually think that men and women are not equal. First off, I would like to portray the point. Biologically, men are known, or it's a fact that men have stronger upper body, and men have testosterone hormone, which actually ensures that they are actually more active in terms of strength. And for that reason, we cannot say that men and women are equal in terms of strength. So in terms of role as well, the role which they play, you cannot expect naturally. Actually, you cannot expect somebody who is less strong than somebody else to go and tackle a situation that calls for strength. If you have a situation that calls for somebody that has strength to actually take up that situation, then you expect somebody that has strength. So, in terms of role, in every natural regard, men are expected to actually take up security, take up what's it called, provision. That's it for me. So because of those reasons, I think men and women are not equal.
All right. I'll come back to some of the things you said. I'll come back to some of the things you said. Let me hear from the other people.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for having me once again. So, first of all, I don't believe men and women are equal for obvious reasons.
Everybody knows.
Like I said. Sorry?
No, I'm just laughing. Everybody does not believe men and women are equal. Okay, no problem.
No, they are not equal. They are not equal for obvious reasons that Ike said. Number one is like the physique itself. You just know that the way men are built and the way women are built are different things. Like biologically speaking, they are meant for different things. And then physiologically speaking, they're also not the same. But as we go on, I'll still give some of my reasons for the stance I take on my opinions. So do I believe men and women are equal? No, they are not equal. And no matter anything anyone tries to do, it will further broaden that divide more than give people understanding about it.
Okay, thank you very much, Victor. Thank you very much. So you two are of the opinion that they are not equal. All right, let's hear from our guests.
This is a very. I was not expecting to hear these two views from both of you, but I would just give my own view on the equality of men and women. Personally, I think Deacon explained what equality means, and I agree with him to an extent. But I would like to point out that men and women are both human beings. Okay, men and women are both human beings. We both belong to the species Homo sapiens. So we have almost the same design in terms of essence, in terms of the human essence, in terms of being human. We have the same human essence. Men and women are equal but different.
Thank you.
Equal but different. Okay, so we cannot, a man is not superior to a woman, and a woman is not inferior to a man. Both of them, there is I think it's Latin, imago Dei, that is image of God. If you believe in God, both of them are made in the image of God. If you believe in biology or whatever I believe in, both of them belong to the same species, Homo sapiens. So they are both equal, however, they are different. So since they are different, these differences are usually complementary. It's just like having maybe the face of a coin and the back of a coin. None is, you can say that one has an indentation, one contains the amount of the currency, or one has a bump. Okay, all of those things are differences, but both of them are equal because they have different roles that they play. They have different positions that they occupy. But in terms of essence, men and women are equal. Equal. So that's my own,
I feel like
take on.
Okay, wait, Zion, Zion, hold on. Can I
No problem, no
point
problem.
out something to say?
No
Yes,
problem.
I'm listening.
Okay, so when you are saying they are both made in the image of God, since you're a Christian, so I can relate to you from a biblical perspective, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, good. So on the first point, to make men and women are equal, that they are both made in the image of God. I hope you know that if they are equal as you are saying, they would have been made separately. But God made Adam, and if you study Genesis properly, you'll find out that Adam had the ability to reproduce by himself.
Azal.
God didn't.
That was
God
that,
didn't.
that is not explicitly stated. Genesis 1:26. Let us make man in our image and in our likeness. And he created male and female, created he them, and blessed them.
Them. Who is the them you were talking about? Who do you think is the them you were talking about?
Male and female created he them. Male and female.
As Adam. Exactly. He created them as Adam. Adam was one. Don't you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. So, women was not
your submission,
Victor, you are confusing me. I don't even understand again. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know whether we want to drive into this rabbit hole that Victor is kind of creating here. Honestly,
Victor, I know this is not
I'm
right, but anything that the Bible does explicitly say, we cannot.
Oh my God! You are contradicting yourself. You just said it said male and female created he them. Then I'm asking you, who is that them? If it was only Adam that was on this thing,
the creation story in Genesis chapter 1 and the creation story in Genesis chapter 2 have different themes.
It's in Genesis 1 we are talking about.
One in Genesis 1. That them is not referring to Adam alone. It is referring to them as in the man and the woman, male and female.
Which woman? Wait, hold on. Which woman are you referring to? If only it was only Adam that we are saying there.
I'm referring to
Eve.
Let him respond now, Victor.
I'm referring to Eve. Look at this, okay? In Genesis chapter 1, chapter 1, there's a difference between creation and formation. Okay, if you look at the Bible in creation, just for example, even in engineering, in arts, to create something has to do with to be able to design it, okay, to come into terms with how you want that particular thing to look. If you look at chapter 2, that was when God actually carried out the physical expression of what he had created in the spiritual framework. So he molded Adam. In chapter 1, there was no mention of him molding Adam. In chapter 1, he just spoke, let us make man. But then in chapter 2, you now saw the expression of how that particular creation happened. He said that he molded the man first. And after a while, he said that it was not good for the man to be alone. I will make a help meet from him. And he took from his side and created the woman. So male and female is Adam and Eve. We cannot say that Adam could reproduce by himself on his own, when it is clear that all other animals are made male and female.
Sorry, can I come in here? I don't want us to actually do much into these assumptions that Victor is making. But I want to clarify on what, honestly, it's an assumption to me, because whether it's what the Bible said or not, there's no clear word there that says all these things. So what I'm trying to do now is to clarify on what I actually said. Like I defined that, like I said earlier, equality means sameness in all aspects. In contrary to what Tochukwu was saying, Tochukwu said men and women are this and equal, and even if in all aspects they are not equal, they complement each other in so many areas. Like, okay, I actually agree with that. In area of strength and provision and security, men are kind of superior in that aspect. But in the area of who contributes more to life, in terms of childbearing and nurturing, women are superior in that aspect, which means that in the end of the day, both genders complement each other. And you might want to see it as equality, but I tell you that is not what equality actually means, because this is the same thing that leads to the issue that we all have today. That feminists come up with, feminists are now coming up and saying, okay, we want equal pay in these aspects. I mean, you're not contributing to these aspects, and you want equal pay with somebody that's contributing more. For example, in terms of football now, the women football team for a very, very long time, they've been clamoring for equal pay in terms of football. But you're not giving what the male are giving. That's what I'm trying to say here. Now. You're not giving what male are giving. Male football is more entertaining because they are faster, they are stronger, they are more organized. And for that reason, our argument is that women can't actually get equal pay with men. So in terms of these aspects, men are kind of superior. That is, and I still stand on that.
I feel like
okay, wait. Now, the thing is this. Wait, Zach, can I give you a moment?
No problem.
I think the issue here is that maybe the word equality is the issue. When we say equality, I am coming from an aspect of ranking, an aspect of intricate superiority or inferiority, without mentioning what each person can do or the other person cannot do. For example, Ikenna, are we equal? Me and you, are we equal?
We are not equal, honestly. There are some aspects in life that I am better than you, and there are some aspects in life that you are better than. So we are not equal. That's what I believe.
So when we say men and women are not equal, we are not saying men are superior to women, right?
Definitely.
Okay, right. Okay, so that it means we are basically saying the same thing in different ways. I'm saying that essentially they are equal in rank as human beings. They are equal, even though they differ.
Yeah, as human beings, we are meant to have fundamental human rights, right?
Yes.
The right to live, right to speech, and
right to vote,
a lot of other stuff. So in terms of that, we are equal. But I want to kind of define clearly that there are some things that men are better at.
Okay, please.
Some things that women are better at.
I want to. We've said a couple of things.
Like what? Hold on. Wait, like what? Women are better at like what? What exactly?
Women are better at making children than you are.
No, not true. You know, hold on. Let me make this point. There is a new science coming out in gametofertilization. It's like an advanced form of IVF, whereby the egg cells, because obviously we all know of artificial incubators where they keep children. Like if you go for IVF, if you've heard about the IVF process, where they will just do it outside of the womb, where they will inject it, do the fertilization outside of the womb. Then,
where are you driving at? Are you trying to say that?
Hold on.
Just very quickly get to your point.
I'm talking of IVF, okay. But this new IVF is a way that now they've found out a way to make egg cells from the skin cells of a man. So
Is it yet? Is it
they
yet?
cannot make a baby without a woman.
Are people here? Are people already giving birth to children like that? But you know that's a
And that's
deviation from the natural way of
that's why
things.
I said it's experimental.
So don't bring it here until it's still an assumption. We are talking about fact
It's
and
not
theory.
assumption. It's already experimental.
But it has not become a theory now.
Successfully in 2024. It has been done successfully.
How many people have given birth to children with that procedure?
We don't
Biologically
know
speaking, it is women that are the ones that have the innate ability to give life. With the
I'm telling
assistance
you
of men.
that very ideology is already being challenged. That's what I'm trying to say. So if childbearing is the only thing you are holding on to that women's side, I'm telling you that is already being challenged, and very soon we all know how science works.
Victor, aside from giving birth to children, I feel like there are a couple of other things that women do better than men. Personally, I feel like women have higher emotional intelligence than men.
Higher emotional intelligence?
Yes, than men.
Mm-hmm. Because if we talk about emotional intelligence, well, it's very debatable. But
there are a lot of things we speak about. I just want us to lay some foundations because they've Tochukwu and Ike have said a couple of things that I just wanted to pinpoint on, but I think we got carried away at some point. Tochukwu made a statement, and I think Ike agreed to him, where he said something like, men and women are equal, but not superior. That men and women are equal, but men are not equal, are not superior to women. But I feel like religion, in a way, kind of contradicts that. And what the aspect I'm talking about is when the Bible says women should submit to their husband. You cannot submit to somebody that you are equal to. So I feel like I would like one of you to help me explain this context, because I feel like religion is part of the reasons why this division has come about.
Okay. I think we are going ahead of ourselves. So, but let me explain. Because I think maybe when we still get to that aspect, I will still explain more on that. Now, when I say men and women are equal as human beings, as members of the same species, with fundamental human rights, with the same human life flowing through us, even though we differ in different biology and different psychology, but the essence within us being the same, we are equal. However, okay, if I can come from the biblical perspective, I can also come from a non-biblical, purely philosophical perspective. Men and women are equal. The reason the woman submits, okay, and let me explain this well. You said, how is it that somebody that is equal to another person will submit to the person? So without explaining submission in detail, let me just give you an answer to that. Jesus is equal, just like because you made reference to religion. Jesus is equal to the Father. The Father is equal to the Spirit. Why? Because they have the same divine essence, the same essence of God. Just like carbon as an element, if you're a chemical student, carbon is one element, but it can express itself as diamond, it can express itself as, as graphite. But then diamond is one. There is no two diamonds, except you're talking about maybe isotopia and the rest. But as an element, carbon is carbon. 6 protons, the carbon is carbon, but expressed in diverse ways. But the Bible said something that even though Jesus is equal with God, he still did not see equality with God as something to grasp. He submitted himself to the Father. That is when he said, the Father is greater than I. Not because the Father is greater than him in essence, but for the purpose of what a home is meant to actualize, for the purpose of what a family is meant to actualize in the society and in this world, that submission is necessary, not based on equality or non-equality. Let me give you another example. John the Baptist, because you came from the angle of religion, so I'm defending religion now. John the Baptist, Jesus is greater than John the Baptist, not even equal. Jesus is greater than John the Baptist. He went to John the Baptist to be baptized. And John the Baptist said, no, I cannot baptize you. You ought to baptize me, right? Because but without contradiction, the less is blessed of the greater. What did Jesus tell him? He said, suffer it to be so for now, so that we can fulfill all righteousness. For the purpose of the task, for the purpose of what it is meant to achieve, I bow, I submit for you to baptize me. So that submission is not an act of inferiority or superiority. No, that submission is an act of sacrifice on the side of the woman to actualize the goal and the intent that God has in mind for a home to actualize. So she's not submitting to you because she's inferior to you. No, she's submitting to you because it is a requirement for what a home is meant to actualize. Yes.
God, you've touched on some deep things. Well, we'll come back to that when we enter religion specifically. So I would like us to sort of explore history a bit, because I was reading some history, and I discovered that in past times that women were never really considered to be equal with men. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was just some of the things I saw. It felt like back then women were always seen as, the man is supposed to be the one to go out and, fight for political positions. He's the one that is supposed to go out and, attain social status, whilst the woman is just expected to, be at home, take care of the home, and just, take care of the kids and children. But I feel like now in our time, things are shifting. You have women now wanting to go into more political positions. You have women striving to attain career positions that before now it was just expected that this is a man's world, this is a man thing. So I want to ask, like, what was the reason behind why our forefathers operated in that manner? Because I feel like that's what led to things like them saying women are not supposed to vote. So my question is, what changed? Is it that system was not working? That's why we now have to start, integrating women back into participating in things that they were not allowed to participate in before.
Okay, can I take this? Can I take this one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so so that's the thing with history. We can't exactly point to a reason why or how that thing came into being. Okay, it could be as a result of maybe the societal beliefs or cultural norms of what people felt should be. But personally, I also read up on that. Like, they were not allowed to vote, they could not own properties, even the ones they brought into the marriage, they couldn't own it. And frankly, I didn't see the sense in that.
Even the one they brought into the marriage.
Yes, even the one they brought into the marriage, they didn't have a say in it. Once they came into the marriage with any property, they automatically went to the husband. So in that sense, it could mean that if the husband died, his family members come and claim hold of her property, and that's not fair at all in any regard. But what changed? When you talk of what changed, I think there are a lot of moving aspects to it. Personally, I feel that the current movements of feminism we have in the 21st century is way different from the movements that came about the initial feminism in the 1800s, because that's when the movement now started to give women more rights, more face in the society. So personally, I believe it was a political decision, and it was for economic reasons. And this is why I feel so. Because think of it, if the women were at home taking care of the kids and all that, only the men could be taxed. Do you understand? But, and again, it is also interesting, if you look at the the timelines, you'll notice it's at the same period of time that income tax in the United States now became federal law. Because, prior to this income tax being a law, there weren't mandatory taxes. So if the country has a need, they just give word. That time it was still on monarchical rule. The king just gives word, and then everybody chips in willingly. But after a while, they now made income tax mandatory.
So in summary, you are saying it was as a result of, economical reasons.
Yeah, and also political reasons. So now they needed more people working so that they could collect more taxes.
Wow. Does anybody want to reply?
And that's why,
why
they now allow. That's why they now allow women to join the workforce, and by joining the workforce, now they can tax both the man and the woman independently. Also, I also believe it was a targeted attack on the home, because once both parents are out of the home, who is looking after the children? Who is ensuring that they are growing up with the family norms, with the parents' morals? So that's what I believe. So what changed?
Let's hear from other people now. Victor, let's hear from other people.
Okay, so for me, I think it's I believe so much in evolution, and I think it's all about life's complexity. Initially, in the earlier human life, there was men were hunters and fruit gatherers, and around that period, women were also giving birth to children. And because men we are more able to fight off animals when they go and hunt because of their strength, the biological reasons which I have talked about before. Um, they had signed, they saw naturally that there was rules, and so men took up the role of going out to hunt and gather fruits, whereas women were at home, taking care of nurturing the children and taking care of domestic jobs as well. So it's natural for me. When that question that you asked about why do you think our poor parents we are doing it this way, it's natural for me. When you even look at animal kingdom where there is no much complexity, you look at things, the rules seems to be assigned. Everyone sees that they have role. In fact, I don't want to go to animal kingdom, to the earlier humans that I was talking about. So they saw that they have roles, and because the things were not so complex. So as technology began to come up, different roles kept coming up, and different roles. For that reason, they saw that there are reasons why women should actually, like, women start clamoring for equality. They don't want to be reduced to just mothers that sit at home and are taking care of their children. So they felt the need to actually occupy other roles as well, like, working in the factories and many other places. So for me, it's a natural process. That's the reason. It's a natural process, honestly.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, sorry. One thing why I won't really agree with this natural process is because if you now look at, if you are saying natural process and they felt the need to integrate women, look at the job. There's also something we call job disparity now. There are fields that you cannot find women there. So why are women not in that positions?
The natural process I talked about is the initially why are women not are women not allowed to go out and take up jobs as like fruit gathering and hunters. I told you already there is a natural process. Men are more able to fight off those animals than women, and women are more able to nurture children.
I think I agree with Iken and I agree with Victor too. I don't really think there is much difference between their ideas, because at the end of the day, Victor mentioned, he even mentioned the two things I wanted to mention about tax. Okay, because before now, women could not be taxed because they were not engaging in work activities and economic activities. So a lot of pulling them into the workforce, giving them voting rights, was just to make them a taxable population. Even though that was the intention of the system or the society as at then, that does not make what they did right, and it also does not make it wrong. So we need to approach it more from a direction of trying to actually know whether was that the right thing to do or was that the wrong thing to do. Now, for me, I personally believe that irrespective of dispensation, irrespective of era, there is a way things ought to be. There is what I believe. I believe in the ideality theory. There is an ideal situation. There is an ideal way a woman is meant to operate. There is an ideal way a man is meant to operate. Men were designed in a certain way. Women were designed in a certain way.
Can you tell us what that design is, sir, for both men and women?
It's a big. I think we'll still get there. Okay, I think we'll still get there. But like just for this particular question, okay. So, but the way women were designed, let's take for example the biological components of being able to take in seed and give birth to children and breastfeed children. Let's just give an example of that biological design. Gives us an example or gives us a picture of its purpose. Design precedes purpose. Based on design, that is what tells us what the purpose of a thing should be. And the design of the man is also what will tell us what the purpose of the man should be. A phone is not designed for eating, because from the design we can tell that it was designed for maybe telecommunication, calls, and the rest of them. So now what am I saying? Based on the ideality, okay, in the ideal situation, a society should be made up of the family unit. And that is why I was very, very glad when Victor mentioned an attack on the home, because that is just what all of these things is. Feminism is just an attack of the home, number one, and number two, a political and socio-economic agenda. Simple. It has nothing to do with women empowerment, especially the modern form and toxic form of feminism.
Can you? I don't want to say I don't agree, but can you guys explain further? What do you mean by feminism is an attack on the home? So you are saying women coming out to want to do better for themselves, want to chase better career prospects, and wanting to like I posted something on my status one time. I said women can be CEOs. I said women can be founders. So are you saying women striving to attain those positions is an attack on the home? Is that what you guys are saying?
No. Okay, go ahead. Then I'll answer.
Okay, that's right. That's not what we are saying. Okay, that is not what we are saying. Over the course of centuries and histories, women has faced certain levels of subjugation, domination, some levels of abuse. Okay, you may say. Okay, so over the course of dispensations. So when a movement comes up and wants to fight against subjugation of women, abuse of women, relegation of women, well, yes, that's a very good movement. Okay, we can that kind of feminism is admissible. But when something comes in to say that what a man can do, a woman can do it, which is to say that they are meant to occupy the same roles, they are meant to take up the same occupations, take on the same careers, take on the same leadership positions for the same reasons, irrespective of the obvious differences in their designs, that is where I will attack it. And when it is also coming from the lens of trying to destabilize the family system, things like you don't need a man, things like always androgynistic, androgynistic tendencies. It's always about man hating men. I heard one saying that she's a feminist, that she can throw a baby boy into the river, that she hates baby boys, she hates boys.
Yeah, I saw that chick, that black girl.
Exactly. That black girl, exactly. So all of those shades of feminism, or women trying to compete with men, they are not trying to fend for themselves. They are not trying to be better. They are not trying to be leaders. They are not trying to inspire a change. The reason for which they are chasing those positions is to compete with men. It's wrong. Even if you are doing the right thing with the wrong motive and wrong reason, it becomes wrong. Because when you don't have the opportunity to express that wrong reason in the right way, you will express it in the wrong way. So these are the shades of feminism that I am not in support of. But if we are telling women to be more of women, okay, women to be the best of what a woman can be, okay, to want to improve,
this is why I wanted you to define.
I agree with them.
This is why I wanted you to define what you meant by the design of a woman, because right now you just mentioned women as what women are supposed to be. Women as I feel I'm sorry to ask, but who are you to say what women are supposed to be? You have never been a woman before, so who are you to tell women what they are supposed to be? That's why I wanted you to define, give us that design that you said, this is the design of a woman, this is the design of a man, and tell us the basis of which you came about that design. If it's coming from a religious standpoint, if it's coming from a biological or cultural standpoint, because I feel like I always try as much as possible to not speak for something that I've never experienced, because I cannot come and say now that by design, a woman is supposed to do this, a woman is supposed to be at home, take care of the family, because even if that's what we met, and as beyond the norms, we are speaking against the status quo. We are here to speak against the way things are. And we are not speaking against it because it's wrong. We are speaking against it because we want to understand it. Because I believe one of the easiest way to get people to conform to things is when they understand it. Because if you just keep telling them, this is how a woman is supposed to be, this is how a woman is designed to be, there would always be resistance because they don't know the reason for that. So that's why I want us to establish. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from, sir.
Yes, I follow what you are saying. Okay, that's all right. Let's dive into it. Okay, I think maybe just give you a brief summary of what I believe a woman is designed for. And every woman that is listening to this will obviously agree, because I think a lot of what people do is that they fight anything that seems to counter their ego or their self-interest. Okay, but I just want any woman listening to actually evaluate what I'm saying in the light of their own experience, and they will be able to tell that it's actually the truth, or it's actually the way it's meant to be. Okay, great. Now, coming to the design of a woman, okay, I can come from a religious and a biblical standpoint. Okay, there are many standpoints I can come from, but the biblical standpoint gives me the best or the easiest bedrock with which to establish this. Even though I know there may be people listening that are not Christians, so I might also have to use other, supporting views to corroborate my my submission. First of all, okay, the woman was designed as a helper to support, to provide, to offer support. That is the first thing. Even though it is equal with the man, but in the way the woman was designed to help. Now, I need to also mention that a woman at home is not the same thing as that woman in the workplace or that woman in society. The home is an institution of its own. The home is just like a school, like UNIZIC or UNILAG, or an organization like a church, or Nigeria as a country. Even though it's a very small unit, but the home is a structure, is an institution. Husband is an office. There is an office of a husband. There is an office of a wife. And then there are the children. So each of those offices has ranking placed on it and responsibilities put on that particular office. So the wife is meant to be a support system, meant to be a help for the office of the husband. Obviously, it's only a man that can occupy the office of a husband, and it's only a woman that can occupy the office of a wife. Now, on the other hand, is that not true? Are we doing LGBTQ girl?
I beg, let's not enter that one. I'm with you, sir.
Good. Now, secondly, is that women are designed to be enhancers. Okay? Women are designed to be able to take the same way biologically she takes the sperm and she can turn it into a child. Beyond the biological standpoint, women can take ideas, take the vision of a man and make it better, enhance it better. Okay? That is one of the things that women were designed for. A woman is good for the man. She's not inferior necessarily, but she is the man's helper.
So if you have a startup idea like this now, a woman can help you, take it to the next level. You don't hear, go find wife.
Exactly. And another thing is that women were designed to be more adaptable than men. Okay? Women can bear up more than men. You can see a woman, the man will be beating her, molesting her, she will still stay there. For reasons none of us can picture. Okay? The reason is that women, if they choose, can decide to bear up with a man no matter what he's doing, if they decide to, because they have that adaptability. They can adjust and adapt to the man. And that's why I usually say that women in a society are simply a reflection of the men in that particular society. Okay? So when you have, there are many other things about women that you can get into. But when you have this particular picture, you would know that it's even in authority, the authority of a woman and the authority of a man are not the same. Okay? A man has more of a power authority, an authority that works by force, an authority that works by position. Women don't need power to influence. A woman can come into a place as a cleaner and be controlling the CEO. A woman does not need a position to work. Women has influence power. That is the kind of power that they have naturally. Influence, authority. So they can come into a place. If a woman comes to you, Zion, now, maybe you used to smoke, you don't used to smoke, and tells you, Zion, stop smoking now. And a man tells you the same thing. The woman so will have more impact on you.
Definitely.
Naturally.
Definitely.
Okay? Because naturally, they were designed that in any place they find themselves with men, they were designed to support, they were designed to help, they were designed to enhance, they were designed to take things and make them better, they were designed to influence things in that place to move to a better position. That is not an inferior position, it's not an inferior role.
Yeah.
Okay? So now, coming back to, let's come back to.
Thank you so much for that. I feel like that has given me, and I guess even the listener, does anybody want to reply to that design? Because I personally, I feel like I totally agree to that design. Victor, you want to say something?
No, but I feel though your question wasn't answered. So does that mean that women in the workplace? So how does that now metamorphose into women in the workplace? So are you pro women workforce or anti-women workforce, or what does your design suggest?
Okay. Now, in work, okay, if we want to maximize the design, okay, in a workplace, there are roles, there are activities, there are things that go on in a workplace that would fit a woman more than it would fit a man. For example, in the military force, I am not in support of taking women to be combatants in the military force. Maybe they could be in the military nursing unit. Maybe they could be in any other unit. But combatants, fighting of enemies, anything that involves the use of physical force, They are not meant to be there.
I
The
don't
reason I'm
think
saying
women
this
go
is
to
not
war in the
because
Nigerian army.
it's
Sef.
not wait. I'm not saying that because they are inferior. Like, I think they shouldn't be happy hearing I'm saying this. Like, I've been to go and die. And there's one reason why most armed forces don't put women at the war front. Because usually, once the woman is under attack, irrespective of the instructions given by the superior, the men will just move in to help her. It is a design in men. It's an intricate design in men to want to protect, to want to shield, to want to guard. Men are just like rocks. Women are like water. So based on that, there are some roles in the workplace that fit them more than other roles. That does not mean they cannot take on any other role, but to maximize their design, a woman will do very well in any role that involves empathy, involves influence, than she will do in a role that involves exercising of authority and power directly.
I want to ask you a question now, based on this thing you spoke about, workforce and all of that. And I'm asking the question to everybody. Anybody can answer. Based on this design that you've established now, should a woman now reduce her career ambitions for her family and her husband? Let's say a woman that maybe had ideas and startup ideas that wanted to build something for herself. Those were her ambitions. But because now she wants to raise a family, should she sacrifice those ambitions just to make a better home?
No, I don't. Let me. I'll take this one.
All right.
I'll take this one. So, what I believe should be the case is, first of all, like Tochukwu said, marriage is an institution. So, when the man and woman get married, okay, there should be a mutual understanding of what kind of minded person your partner is. So, if you're marrying a career-oriented woman, they should make it clear that, okay, since we are deciding to raise a family, there might be some changes. They need to discuss some changes, and that changes will now have to affect both of them, because automatically her being a career woman now means she won't be available 24/7 because she now has things to attend to.
Yeah.
So there has to be a mutual understanding. Okay, for example, let's say she gets a job as a secretary to a place, and okay, majority of us are in Lagos. Offices close 5. So let's assume she has kids that are, let's say, in a daycare. So it could be that they'll just say, okay, maybe today the man will go and pick up the kids. Tomorrow the woman will go and pick up the kids. That kind of thing. So the thing, it has to involve sacrifice on both parts. It's not just on one part. So if the woman should drop her career ambitions for the sake of family, no. But there should be discussions, and there should be understanding that there will be some concessions on both parts, and both parts need to be willing to take on those concessions before they move forward. Otherwise, it will definitely create problems down the line.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Does anybody want to also attempt to answer the question?
I like to start by saying that there is no higher career than bearing and raising children.
Oh, wow.
That's the first thing I want to say. There is no bigger, better career than bearing and raising children. And so I think women have to actually realize the fact that just like as we are human beings, okay, we all brush teeth, we all take a bath, we all eat, irrespective of whether you're in school or whether you are a career woman or whatsoever. There are some things that you must do regardless. So I think anybody that is trying to venture into career as a woman, because just by the fact that when a woman is pregnant, she can't walk as she used to. But just look at the man. There's literally nothing holding you as a man. Like, there is no cramp or ovulation pain, or like women are just almost 5 days in a month. They are down. They are this one. Because the design, every single month, a woman has to go through something that will remind her that you are meant to give birth. Every single month, she will go through it. Me as a man self, sometimes I won't forget that I'm meant to give birth. You understand? So that is to tell you that they have a primary role in that particular aspect. So if she wants to get ahead, get into a career and all of that, she has to know that is not necessarily their primary role based on the biological design. However, she can get into that. Now, in the context of a home, there now needs to be a discussion. There now needs to be a dialogue between the man and the woman. Okay, she does not need to reduce everything to zero. No, but she has to make sure that she does not do it at the expense of raising and rearing or nurturing children. So there will be a lot of sacrifice that she will have to make to ensure that she is not so absent from the home, that she's now present in another man's infrastructure, in another man's institution, or just for the purpose of the money. Okay, I know that there might be situations where the woman earns more than the man.
Yes.
Okay, so that one is also a different.
Yes,
it's also a different dynamic that we still talk about.
You and Victor have spoken about having that dialogue and that discussion where they come to a mutual agreement and say, okay, sacrifices must be made. How about in a situation where they had that conversation and they both mutually decided that, okay, let the woman chase her dreams, probably because, like what you said, she's earning more, and then the husband now become like a stay-at-home dad. My question is there anything wrong with a man being a stay-at-home dad? Let's say if his wife earns more, because I was listening to a podcast, I think it was Honest Bunch, and where they were speaking on something similar to this, and they spoke on two couples that both agreed that the husband would be a stay-at-home dad, taking care of the kids, and the wife, because she was earning more, she became like the one taking care of everything. So my question to you now is this: is there anything wrong with that? Because I feel like it contradicts the design of what a man and a woman should do, like you have established.
Okay, I think
so. Okay, so personally, I don't think there's any issue with that. Like, I agree with what Tochko and Victor said about the family reaching agreement on what on how to go about their duties, who should go to work and all those things. So if they have reached this agreement and they collectively agree that the man should be the one staying at home and the woman should go to work, since her salary is way better than the man's own, I think the man should actually stay at home. But in the end of the day, actually, I believe in flexibility in life. In the end of the day, if they continue to have, if the man says, okay, this is not what I want again, because people are not very stable. You know, sometimes you make a statement, you say you reach an agreement. In the end of the day, you looking at this whole situation, you know, some wives, the way they treat you, because they are the one providing. And, you know, men have ego as well. So the wife start treating you this way. I feel like, you don't want to stay, you don't want to continue with these agreements that you had. And you felt like you have talked to her about the way she treats you. And she still feels like that. I feel like, after so much talk, there should be room for divorce. Like, absolutely, there should be room for divorce in marriage. If
divorce.
You cannot handle that
situation. Yes, I would like to talk about that divorce.
How did you enter divorce?
Yes, now, because
okay, wait, Zam, how can you add to what I said?
Okay.
Yes. So, you know, this also starting on the grounds of that dialogue. Now, we shouldn't forget the most important, another very important factor in this equation, which is society.
How society would perceive
they have that, if they have exactly, how would the society perceive it? Because at the end of the day, the society already understands that if anybody should stay at home is the woman.
Yeah.
So if at the end of the day they are saying something that's reversed, like the man is staying at home, who knows what they are telling the wife outside? And that thing can make her come home and start
behaving
disrespecting back. Who knows what people are going to tell the husband staying at home that would bruise his ego, because men naturally have ego. Who knows what someone will tell him that will bruise his ego, that will now make him start challenging his wife, despite the fact that they already had this prior discussion. So I believe, I believe in prevention is better than cure. So I believe whatever the discussion, whatever conclusion any couple gets into, it should be in the effect of, if anybody should stay at home, it should neither be the man nor the woman. They should create a system whereby somebody is not always permanently at home. And if anybody should be permanently at home, because of societal perception, it should not be the man.
I think you made a valid point.
That's what I believe. Yeah. That's what I believe in. Because we can all have this talk, but society will surely influence one way or the other. Yeah. Society will surely influence that dynamic.
I don't know how Ike entered divorce, but do you want to say anything to that question as to whether being a stay-at-home dad is wrong?
Okay, now, like I've said earlier, okay, there is a way things are meant to operate ideally. Ideally, from biology, the baby stays in the belly of the woman for 9 months. Afterwards, the baby will have to be breastfed by her for almost 6 months exclusive. Does that not teach us something? Does that not tell us something? That already tells us that nature is trying to teach us. Bible will say, does not nature teach you? But we humans are sometimes too attached to things we are not supposed to be attached to. So the woman should already know that primarily her role has a lot to do with the domestic aspect of the home, turning the house into a home, nurturing, care, comfort, raising, rearing, feeding, all those things that has to do with nourishment. I know that if not because nature had to assign those things to women, they might still be running away from it till now. I don't really know of any man who runs from responsibility to provide. Okay, there are some irresponsible men, but then we call them irresponsible.
Deadbeats.
Okay,
Deadbeats
we call
for
them-
that. Plenty.
We call them irresponsible. But a normal man, okay,
Should not be
should
so.
want to provide, protect, guard, and be a rock to his family. A normal woman too should want to bear, raise, nurture, care, comfort, and all of those things. Now, if there's a situation where what I mentioned now cannot be met or cannot be handled that way, maybe because of the uniqueness of the home or because of the uniqueness of the marriage, the woman was already earning more and all of that. Number one, there are some things we must take into cognizance to ensure that that arrangement does not become a problem to the home. The first thing is that the woman must make sure that her money or her affluence outside is of no consequence in her home. Because there are women that cannot handle earning more than their husband. Disrespect with certain, the way they treat the man with certain, the way they speak to the man will make it obvious that this is the woman providing funds or money in this particular home. If a stranger walks into your home, the person should not be able to tell that you are the one providing for the home by the way you act.
That's true.
By the way you speak to the man, by the way you disrespect the man. So whenever you want to work against the design, you have to be sure to put in some, if you have to be sure to make sure you put in some things in place to ensure that it does not eventually result in your own downfall.
I totally. All right, so I feel like I agree with what Tochiko has been saying so far. The moment when a stranger walks into your home and they are able to discern and see that you are the one providing for this home, not your husband, I feel like that's where a lot of problems come into play. So if we're speaking a lot on marriage, I want us to enter another sector. I want us to enter the sector of power, politics, and because I don't know, I posted something on my status one time and I asked the question, should women be allowed to vote? And surprisingly, a lot of people were responding, and majorly they were males. They were responding, no, women should not be allowed to vote. And I was thinking in my head, in the 21st century, should we be asking this question that whether women should vote or women should not be allowed to vote? And it brought up other questions like, should women be allowed to lead organizations? Should women be allowed to occupy political positions? I think there was one time I was thinking to myself, why hasn't any woman come out and decided to run for being the president of Nigeria? Because looking at what men has done so far to this country, I feel like they've not done a very good job. So I was asking that question that, don't you think it's time that we give women the chance? What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Okay, yeah, I'll go first. Let me go first on this. Okay, so two things on the issue of voting and the issue of running for presidency. Okay, and that's CEO. But I'll collectively answer the CEO question and the presidency question together since it involves power. Then I'll respond to the voting one separately. So in terms of voting, sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, in terms of voting, so when it comes to voting, voting, do I believe women should vote? Yes, I believe women should vote. And this is my reason. Earlier in the conversation, we said women are more emotionally intelligent. Okay. And when it comes to voting, this is about choosing a leader of a nation that leader is going to carry the country through the next election, democratically elected cycle. And if we are looking at it, we have to look at the performances of the what do you call it, of the previous leaders. Okay, what has this leader done? What has what does this person have to offer? Then what is the state of the country? So I believe women being emotionally intelligent, they would be able to know that, okay, this is the state of the nation. Do we feel glad about it? And if we feel glad about it, should we continue to go in this direction? Do we think this direction is better? So I believe, yes, women should vote because of their emotional intelligence. Men also vote because of their logical intelligence. Now, in the aspect of running a country or running organizations, should women allow it? Should women be allowed? That's a tricky one, and I'll be very careful in my answer so that people will not attack me again like they did the last time.
They want to kill Victor.
Oh no, una won't kill me that time, oh Jesus. Oh, but it's fine. But if we look at historically, any nation led by a woman always came to an end abruptly, and the rise and fall of great generals women have always been at the center of it. Yeah, okay, but let's not even go far. Let's not even go far. In February, this cartel leader they killed in Mexico. How did they catch him? CIA said that it was because of they tracked his girlfriend's movements and they found out where he was. You can imagine. No. It's laughable. It's laughable. If we look at it, a man will not make that mistake and they will catch him. If they will catch a man, that's not how he will make that mistake. So looking at it, women have always been at the forefront. Okay, the last female leader of Hawaii led Hawaii, or Hawaii, like Hawaii of the United States. She led them into a very destructive cycle that somebody had to now step in and take over. So women being leaders of big organizations, no, I don't think so. If they would, they should have a council of men, because sometimes when it comes to leadership is about logical. It's not about emotions. You have to take logical, rational, and sometimes brutal steps in order to ensure the survival. Because the survival of that institution, a lot of people depend on it. Families depend on it.
Yeah.
People's dreams depend on it. So we can't be running it based on emotions. And women being emotionally intelligent or being more prone to emotional outbursts, they are not fit to rule by virtue of the nature of that office. So that's my stand on it.
Okay. For me, I actually think that absolutely women should be allowed to rule, because it's something that affects them. Leadership of a nation affects women as well.
Yes.
A lot of people, if you look at Nigeria has been run down by
political and human rights.
And we keep saying that women should not rule. It's not logical to me.
Exactly.
Again, there are some countries that women have led those countries and they have done fine. Even some states as well. For example, I think Liberia or Sierra Leone, one of those countries, a woman was their past leader, Johnson Sirleaf, and she did well, absolutely. So women should be allowed to rule. In terms of these, let's not make much of this logical and emotional intelligence and something. I believe, there are this logical intelligence. Averagely, men tends to do better at logic. But there are some women as well that have established themselves that are known to have like either to be highly logical. If you have examined those women and they can actually convince people, why not? Why shouldn't they vote? In fact, okay, the BGS, the best graduate student of engineering department, this set,
our department
is a girl. So for that reason, like there are some girls, there are some
and
women
Victor, you're in that department too.
She's in that department. And honestly, I've spoken to that girl before, and I can tell you, I can vouch for that she's very logical. I talked to her, and she was very logical in our conversation. So I think that women that have established themselves to be logical enough to handle situations.
I totally agree with Ike.
Yeah.
I feel like the right.
In this your logic, there's something missing. There's something that is still obviously not spoken. those women were raised by men. See, men forge iron. So that's
What are you saying? They were
resilience
raised by men where their mothers not there.
not a woman.
What are you saying,
that is
And
Victor?
too much.
let's agree on that.
What do you
Let's
mean by
agree
they
on
were
that.
raised by men where their mothers not there?
No, I'm not saying, when I say raised, I mean that resilience. Of course, fathers are the backbones of the
Who
family.
told you that in
If
their
you look
family
at
it
the
was not the mother
look
that
at the
was?
statistics. Look at the statistics of single mother raised families and single father raised families. The contrast is very clear on the type of children that come out from those families.
You see now men forge iron. God.
It still does not take away the fact that if a woman has established herself to be capable of thinking logically and to be capable of
You're
living,
talking of end
Victor,
result. You're talking of end result.
Victor,
I'm talking of
in a diplomatic
who made her
setting,
to be logical.
Victor, in a
It doesn't
diplomatic
matter that-
setting, the right
It
to
doesn't
vote
mean it
or to
doesn't
be
matter.
voted, Victor, the right to vote or to be voted for has nothing to do with your gender.
Of course, everybody has
I'm
human
not
rights.
saying no. I
You have the
didn't
right
say
to
that. I said women should be allowed to vote. I
You
was
said
not
it-
like women should not
You
vote.
said they should not be voted
I
for
didn't-
now.
That's what you are saying now.
They should not rule
Yes,
means
that's
they
what
should not be voted for.
No. See, when I was
You
making,
cannot
I
take
was like,
part of- you cannot take part of
my
the-
argument. I said if they should be voted for, they should have a council that will be made entirely of men.
Why are you
So that
putting
you
a
can
condition on
entirely
them?
of men.
Why are you putting a condition on them and not on the men?
Okay,
You are being
I'll give you an
biased in
example.
your
In
answer.
Iceland, hold on. 2 years ago in Iceland, all the women went on strike. Okay, Iceland everybody knows Iceland. They went on strike, and for a full 24 hours. And guess what happened? The CEOs reported that productivity in the workplace increased. I'm not lying. You can go and look it up online. Some of them came out. Some of them were doing interview. They said one man in particular. I wish I took note of his name. He was like, for the first time in our company, I'm quoting him verbatim. He said, for the first time in our company, work was actually gotten done. No complaints. Those were his words, not me.
Victor,
So when you look at those kind of things, we draw conclusion based on data. So I'm not saying, I'm just putting the data out there. So
I did not see much relationship between the data you dropped now and the question that we have at hand, honestly.
Efficiency.
Wait, Victor. Now you said the country, the women decided not to work and they did better. Does it mean that their position was all occupied? We all occupied by men during that period that they decided not to work? Or
no. What we can extract from that is, in their absence, work still went on and efficiency increased. So their absence did not affect the workplace.
So in essence, you are saying their presence was the reason for the inefficiency. That's what you are saying.
In the words of the CEO. In the words of the CEO, yes.
Satochiko, would you like to what are your thoughts on this? Because I don't know where to go from here again, honestly.
At this point, I think we have hit a very, very interesting road. And I would also be careful how I present my point, because I know Victor, after now, finding a wife, I just there's no serious recording. Okay. Now the thing is this. Okay. Personally, I'm not a fan of democracy. I don't even believe in democracy. I think democracy is one of the worst systems of government. Okay. I like I said, there's a way things should be done. And over time, cultures have tried to approximate the best way or the best model of leadership. People have tried monarchy, people have tried aristocracy, people have tried gerontocracy, different systems, even democracy. But I still believe that there is one system that can give us the best efficient output as a leadership model. So when we are able to approximate that exact system, that is when we can say, okay, we have gotten the best leadership system. I still believe that there is the best leadership system. Normally, the way that a leadership of a society was supposed to be operated is supposed to be the same, the Igbo traditional system or the Igbo leadership system, where you have a family, okay, and every family has like a hamlet. Then from the hamlet, you have like, I think there's how they call it in my community. Then the village. Then you now have the community. You get. So in each family, the man is the head, right? Then then you now have a group of hamlets that is like Umuna coming together with the men that make up that place. They have like the eldest man in that particular hamlet meeting with another group of hamlets. It goes in an organizational structure like that. And in those kind of systems, one family has one vote. I don't see a reason why a husband and a wife will be voting in an election. Like, why will Buhari be voting and the wife is voting and is looking to see what the wife voted? Because we have lost the essence of the home. A husband, wife, and children are all affected by the same leadership positions to the same level. They should all choose one candidate. So personally, I believe ideally the leader of the home should choose who should lead the country, as that is what affects the home. That is what I believe. However, we have found ourselves in a situation where the home has been downplayed. Family has almost lost is beginning to lose its relevance. Not because it is not relevant, but the way society is making it look like. So in this particular current society, I feel, okay, it's not wrong for women to vote. Okay, it's not bad for women to vote. But I believe ideally, the husband of the home or the leader of the home should make the decision of who leads, not alone, right? The woman is there. There should be this complementary. The man is bringing logical reasons or reasons why she feels the man should lose. The woman is bringing her intuition, bringing her emotional reasons, bringing how she feels about it, bringing the woman power to it. And then based on that deliberation, the man who has the veto power can now decide who they are going to go for or who is going to take up the leadership position. That is how it's supposed to work. But women voting is not a problem. Okay, they are not inferior to men. I'm just saying it should be better. Now coming to okay.
Yeah, okay. Yes. I don't know if I wanted to. Maybe you have not actually said whether that's why I wanted to pause initially. You have not actually said whether the women should be allowed, which women should be allowed to be leaders in the society. By the way, the Igbo system of this that you talked about is closer to anarchy, and I believe that the most tested.
Did you say anarchy? Did you say anarchy?
Did you say anarchy? Like
it's closer to me. It's closer to anarchy now. That's what I actually think. Because
okay, why is that?
Except you want to redefine what anarchy, but anarchy is a system. I think it's a system of government where there is no particular leader, and that's what we had in the past. We don't have any particular monarch like that. We say, okay, this one is our Igwe or something like that. We don't have
more of
like
a state of Zaria and chaos.
Anarchy is a state of a nation, not really it has nothing to do with the rulership structure. It's just a state of
like I said, I think you should read more on what anarchy actually is. It is a situation, is a system where you don't have any a particular leader that you can hold on to. People can make decisions and organize themselves. That's what we had in the past. People can organize themselves and do things, but we don't have a particular person that when he speaks. Yes, we don't have a central government.
Yes.
That's what anarchy is. So please, I just want to get from you whether women should be allowed to be voted for. That's what I.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have thrown the question directly. I cannot escape. Okay. Now. Okay. Yes, the Igbo traditional system I mentioned, they ran like a stateless system, more like it was not centralized. It was basically acephalous. Okay, but coming to this current reality, whether women should be voted for. Number one, what does leadership entail? Leadership entails there are responsibilities or roles that a leader can carry out. Can a woman carry out those roles? I believe she can. Looking at Germany, Angela Merkel, she led Germany brilliantly well. Looking at Liberia, Johnson Sirleaf, she led Liberia relatively, very well. Looking at Miss Okonjo-Iweala, she's doing a brilliant job at the World Trade Organization. For her to be chosen to be a leader of such a global organization, it means that she has the capacity to be able to lead in that particular position. So coming to such kind of organizations or a nation, because a nation is different from, okay, let me not even get to that, but a nation is just a political entity. And then an organization is also a kind of an economic or a political entity. It is not as spiritual or as, essential as the home or the family that already has a design that was predated before now. So coming to those particular organizations, a woman can lead. Okay, a woman can lead. However, we must put into consideration the fact that by her being a woman, there are some things we must put in place before a woman is allowed to lead or before she can lead. We need to make sure that she has gotten her emotions under guard. We need to make sure that she will not just get angry and because of something just happens and she presses a button to release nuclear bombs to go and bomb Iran or to go and bomb North Korea. You get women hear anything you are saying, women hear it as an emotional experience. Women don't hear information. No, they hear emotional experience. If you come home from work and you say, there was this worker that brought food to work, and their egusi soup was very sweet. The first thing she will ask you is he a man or a woman? You say woman. Second, what she's hearing is her egusi soup is sweeter than your own. That's what she's hearing. Women hear in a way that is unbelievable to me. You get? So we need to make sure that woman has tamed to an extent or worked on those aspects that would not make her fit well into those kind of leadership positions that require a lot of rational thinking. Also, okay, we need to make sure that she also understands the woman power. There's something called woman power, which she can leverage in her political position to even influence other presidents of other nations to our own good, influence things to our own good. But I don't have any issue or any problem with a woman holding a power position, or as long as we put her through the necessary training that even men should go through to also cater for their own desire.
So you want women to be scrutinized and not be okay? No problem, Sha. By the way, Pelosi is another person that's also doing well. The Italian Prime Minister, she's also doing very well.
Yes, Victor, are you convinced now?
Convinced?
Or you still believe that women should not hold political positions?
No, I no. See, hold on. I noticed something. Hold on.
All right.
Okay, I noticed something in what Tochukwu was saying, and I believe this Beyond the Norms is all about being pragmatic. He was saying that they should. What steps do you say? Because when I gave my stance, I said what should be. I was like, if a woman should be the leader, because of that emotional thing, the way she is emotionally, she should have men that are advisors. Her closest advisor should be a circle of men who will always always ensure that she sees logic in every decision she makes. That was my condition. So if you look at these women, female leaders are talking about, look at their close circle, and you tell me how many women as compared to men, then you now understand what I'm saying. Otherwise, all these things you are saying, women is all rubbish. The people that it's working for, look at their inner circle, and then you come and tell me what works and what does not work. Because we can't just say.
I will argue with you that the reason why their inner circle is mainly men is because in their politics is mainly men that are there as well. It's not because
that's not true. That's not true. But then. Wow, but then who am I to say? Oh, but that's not true.
The CEO of Zenith Bank is
a woman.
And
look at one of the direct. See, okay, Zion, wait. Hold on, Zion, wait, Zion. 2024 that we went to that Zenith Bank fair. How many women directors do you see there aside the Adora?
It was just her.
So what are we saying? What are we saying now? What are we saying? What are
I'm sorry, Victor. I'm sorry. Your ideas are very extreme.
Yet she was appointed as CEO in the midst of all those men.
In the midst of all those men, exactly.
Okay, Zion. Because we're online. There's something we pointed out, but because of we don't know who will listen to this in the future. I won't say. But now you know that thing. I
know that.
What do you say? No, wait.
No, we are not going to say it. We are not going to say it on air. We have to finish the recording before we say it. But Zion knows that thing. That thing we noticed. Okay. But then, I'm saying,
Victor.
I don't know why you guys are making a big deal.
No. I just want to get you. I want to be clear.
I'm sorry if I said anything wrong, Sha. I'm sorry though.
No, you didn't say anything wrong. I'm just trying to see. Make you guys see where I'm coming from. I'm all about being pragmatic. Okay, if this should work, let's look at the examples of things that your position is supporting.
Victor, I want to ask you a question now. Victor. In summary, you are saying for a woman to excel in a political position, there must be a council of men that are, counseling her. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so How about this saying when people say things like, for every successful man, there is a woman behind it? Can't you now also say that for every man to be successful, there must be a council of women or a woman that is counseling him also?
But that saying does not exist, does it?
I don't understand.
How many times have you heard for every successful woman, there's a man behind it?
Exactly, I've not heard that. What I've heard is that for every successful man, there is a woman behind it. But you are coming to say that for every woman that has succeeded.
Sorry, what I meant was for every successful woman, there is a woman behind it.
I've not heard
since
that.
we are flipping the logic that already exists.
Yes,
now since we are flipping, since the what stands now is for every successful man, there's a woman behind him. So that could also be. Does that also mean for every successful woman, there is a man behind her? Yes, but for every successful woman, there is a woman behind her. That is the one that does not exist.
Okay, Victor, let me drop, since you like data, let me drop another data. The women of Dahomey, you must have watched the film, the Benin Republic, those people around the ancient Benin Republic. The woman of Dahomey, the army, that organization was led by women. The people behind her too. Sorry, the people behind her too were women as well, and they did that excellently.
Which movie?
The woman. Have you not watched The Woman King? And it's the reality.
Yes, based on real events.
I know of the movie, but I've not watched it.
The movie is based on real events.
I'm just telling you now that it's what happened in the past, and
it's not what happened in the past. It's a Netflix movie. Of course, Netflix will
not a film. What actually happened? That's based on real life.
Victor.
That's based on real life event, bro. That's based on real life event.
We can't use that as a yardstick. We all know Netflix has been compromised.
Victor is a conspiracy theorist. You guys don't know.
The views they pass. See, after 2020, the kind of things Netflix has been pushing out is already very questionable. It's already very questionable.
See, Victor, the first time I heard of that story was not from Netflix. I've read about it before. That's what I'm telling you. That it's based on real life story.
You read about it, but you didn't see it visually. Netflix now gives it visual.
It's okay. This one that you are citing now, did you see it visually?
Did you see it visually? Thank you.
Wait, which one I'm citing? Calm down. What did I cite?
The men that you said they were doing well, were you there with them?
They are doing well. I don't get. Wait, is Zion that brought it up now? For every successful man, there is a woman behind him, and I say I support it.
No, Victor, there was a time you said that in history, if you look at men, that if you look at where women led industries and things like that, it always ended abruptly. That was what you said.
And that's the reason why I
so were you there when it ended abruptly?
We read of it.
Him too, he read it too. Thank you.
Wait, Victor.
Okay, wait.
Let's
attack this one now. Can you cite another example? Wait,
first.
Victor, calm down first.
Wait.
Calm down. I'm calm. Make I know they calm, okay?
Wait, Victor. I want to really understand what you are saying now. So, are you saying that women are incapable of independent, rational thinking?
By themselves?
Yes, by themselves.
I'll answer my question with an answer you provided earlier. In one of the answers you provided, you said women are like water. So yes. Do you think a group of water is able to lead water?
There is ice. Water can become ice.
You said women are like, you didn't say ice is a different state of water.
Yes. So under different conditions.
No. When it becomes ice, you calm down. When it changes states, it is normal. You can't call it water again. You now call it ice.
Because the conversation is not about water or ice. It's a direct question. Are women capable of making independent?
And I've answered this question. Can water in its liquid form lead water?
Victor, that was not the question.
And I remember I said that women can lead, but we have to make sure that they have gone through the training or exposure required to embody the characteristics needed for leadership, which you can look at the water to ice. So I'm asking you, are women incapable of independent, rational thinking?
Yes or no?
Quote unquote, water women, no. Ice women, yes.
Which one be water women, ice women? God.
So ice women, Good. So
Now, when I ice women, meaning they have been trained, and also they must have counsel, because ice, if you leave ice does not stay ice for a long time. After a while, they fall back to default.
Hey,
So
God.
we need a
What we
system,
they
we
talk
need a
about like
mechanized
this now?
system
God.
to always keep them in that ice. That's what I'm trying to say. We need a system to always keep them in that ice form to ensure that they always make rational decisions. And that mechanism, I'm saying, is provided by men. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh my goodness. Because if you leave ice exposed, it turns to water. We're all science students.
So in summary, Victor, women cannot make rational decisions by themselves. That's what you are saying.
You are putting words in my mouth.
yes, now
That's what you are saying. If you are saying something, stand on it now.
Make rational decisions on her own. That's what you're saying.
On her own,
Yes.
not for a long time. She can't do it well over a long time. Yeah, sure. Let's move on. Okay, yes. That question I wanted to ask.
Okay.
The issue of bills in the household. Who do we think should handle the bills? Should it be a 50-50, or like, there's a popular rhetoric going on now in marriages, which I believe is one of the reasons a lot of men are not really interested in getting married. The man's money is meant for the house, the woman's money is meant for herself alone. What do we think about that rhetoric? Because for me, I believe it's nonsense. But let me hear what you guys have to say.
It's all right. I think when it comes to just before we step into finance, okay, let me just reiterate, because I think we may say a lot of this. Let me just reiterate my stand on women in leadership. For with leadership, you need to be able to have a vision, you need to be able to have strategy, you need to be able to exercise power, you need to be able to, maybe be compassionate and have empathy as a human being. Any woman who can embody these things is capable of leadership. And sometimes, because of how women are designed, usually they are meant to have a man ahead, and then they are supporting and they are helping. So sometimes, as a woman leader, she might need her husband or another male entity in her life to always provide that but that does wait. That is if you want to maximize design. If you want to maximize design,
Victor, why you laugh?
if you look at Spartacus, look at any of the male warriors. They always had women with them, because there is a feminine energy that women always bring to the table. That even a male warrior in battle, when he comes home, there is need for feminine energy. Okay, if there's one of these Viking movies I always see. I don't know if it's Vikings or one movie I always see memes from it. There's
Game of
this
Thrones.
woman or this woman that's providing that to maximize his warriorness or his warrior energy. So to maximize a woman's leadership position, okay, that is why usually some women, as you see them as president, there is a man somewhere that is providing some level of rock, or some level of that cooling effect that turns her into ice. I agree. But as an independent entity, she's still capable of leadership if she embodies those properties, even though it might take more time or it might take more energy on her end and more intentionality, but it is still possible. Very possible.
Wait, even speaking of, okay, since you brought up Spartacus, look at the prequel they made, this House of Ashur. That lady that was the main, that they presented as their champion.
That black girl.
How many women did you see supporting her? Was it not all men that were all there? Even Ashur himself is a man that were providing her the iron she needed to become a warrior, the tip of the spear as they needed her to be. How many women did you see there?
What I'm saying is that a trained woman for leadership might even outperform a woman in the midst of untrained men.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not just about the man. Yeah, there's something the man is providing, and there are other ways of getting that training and that solidity. Exposure training is part of it.
Okay.
Victor, let's go to your question.
The question I asked.
Okay. Well, my own view on financing, okay, when it comes to family financing and home financing, and this is how I intend to run my own home. The man and the woman are one. The issue that we have in marriage most times is that many people are not willing to be vulnerable. They are not willing to let down their all. Ideally, as a woman, everything you have belongs to the man. Ideally. Yes. Ideally, as a woman, everything you have belongs to the man.
Patriarchy.
In this 21st century.
And ideally, Ideally, everything the man has, the woman has, but not.
Why is there but for the woman part?
No, wait.
You said ideally everything the woman has
Now,
belongs to the
men
man.
are doing equal.
But now to say ideally
the
everything
man.
the man has, you put but.
Okay, let me phrase it well. Everything the woman has belongs to the man. Okay? But everything the man has belongs to the woman on the proxy of the man's leadership. On the proxy.
So it doesn't really belong. So it doesn't really belong to the woman.
It belongs to
So it doesn't really belong to her.
But again, let me resolve that tension. Ideally, anything the man does should be for the interest of the wife over his own interest. As a man, coming from even the biblical perspective, the Bible says that a man should be willing to lay down his life for his wife, just as Christ laid down what he has for the church. So the man is no decision the man takes. The man has to be selfless, has to be sacrificial, has to be a man that provides security that the wife can depend on, irrespective of anything. The man has to be that. So that is what guides how the man appropriates all the resources. Not the man that will take his wife's salary and go and drink in the bar and then things are going back at home. No, that is not what I'm saying. This whole thing was meant to work as a cycle. It was meant to work in order. If you are using a phone and you don't charge it, it won't work well. So if you are charging a phone and you don't use it, it is not also maximized. So it has to work in that particular cycle for it to work well. So everything the woman has belongs to the man, but the man always appropriates everything he has and the woman has with the woman's interest first. So at the end of the day, nobody's losing. That is how it was meant to operate. So as for me, everything I have belongs to my wife. Okay? Everything she has belongs to me. There is no 100%, 50-50, 60-40. In fact, I personally say I wouldn't even want to use our money for anything.
So if you guys, God forbid, if you guys were to divorce now, are you willing to give her half of your property?
Kelemas. Okay, now, in the case of divorce, half of your property. Wow, that's a very interesting question. Now, number one, divorce is guided by laws in the country. Okay, divorce is not just a customary affair. Divorce is also a legal affair. So, based on the country in which you exist, anything that is demanded of you in that country, which can be right or wrong, okay, the laws are not always right, but you are bound to obey them.
That law itself is very faulty. That's why, because of this law, I always advocate
that's what I'm saying. In
marriage.
terms of percentage, like men should contribute
Prenup.
something closer to like 70%.
Yes. Because of that law,
yes,
I feel prenup should be enforced.
But do you realize that the reason we have to come up with all this
prenup,
all these things is simply because I don't know why have humans decided not to follow the way that this thing was designed to be followed.
And that's the thing, because of the flaw, because now the thing is flawed. So we have to have a system that protects us from that flaw. Because ideally, I think there's a common misconception about this prenup. Signing a prenup is actually a declaration of intent in marriage, like for life and for death. So if you're not planning on leaving, you won't be fearing to sign a prenup. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe you can define prenup so that those who don't.
No, prenup. So it's just a legal agreement. It's just a legal agreement that a couple sign before they get married. That okay, we are signing this thing. Whatever you bring to the marriage, if for any reason this marriage has to be dissolved, everybody takes what they brought in. So if the man brings 100%, the woman brings nothing. Once they dissolve, if that marriage dissolves, the man takes everything. The woman goes away with nothing. Do you understand? Now, what I feel what people are missing about that prenup is signing a prenup is a declaration of intent on both parties that we are not going to leave this union. This union is we die here for better, for worse. So you're not wanting to sign a prenup. It's the declaration of okay, you're only there for the better. You're not there for the worse. So if the worst happens, you want to run.
But see, Victor,
which is not how to.
I know, Victor. I know we are not talking about divorce, but you just brought up something, so I just wanted to ask this concept of for better, for worse. Don't you think it's flawed? Because when you say for better for worse, so as a woman, if your husband they beat you, they kill you inside your marriage, you can't live there because you
No.
swore for better for worse. I feel like
No, okay.
divorce should be
For
something
that, I think there should be for better for worse. What my own definition of for better for worse is like in hard times, not just in times of abuse. I'm not advocate for abuse in marriage. I mean, I didn't grow up in an abused home, so I don't advocate for it. When it comes to now this unequal earning, when earning power is greater than one, especially when it's on the woman's side. That's it. I can now, even from the onset, I even advocate for a joint account. Let everything be going to one account. So we are spending from this one account. So everybody is laying down their 100%. That is in the event of this, what do you call it? In event of unequal earning power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you wanted to say something?
I think for the first time, I'm agreeing with Victor.
God, I mean.
for the very first time, we actually agreed on something. I'm shocked they are saying, okay, wait. What if
You see what challenge you? After agreeing with me, you see what challenge you?
No, I don't want to challenge it. I'm like, yeah, is it not because the man is earning less? That is why they now have to have a joint account. Okay, okay, but I think you have already said that. Let me point. I agree with you wholesomely. Okay, I personally believe that when it comes to provision in a home, okay, the man should take up that responsibility. It is the responsibility of the man to provide for the home. It is his responsibility. So he can do that via any means he wants to do, job and the rest. But due to the fact of our obvious modern society, women can have an opening or they can have a job that pays them more than the man, and then they now earn more than the man. So in that particular situation, the man should not see the woman's money as what he is entitled to. No, he's seeing yes. He's not seeing the woman's earning
it's
as what
communication.
he's
Like
entitled
the
to.
couple
No,
have
not
to
necessarily.
communicate and establish
But it's a
rules.
marriage now.
And
It's a
once those
marriage.
rules are
Yes,
established,
they are one. They are one.
They should.
Okay?
It
is
But when it comes
both
to money, they are
individuals
now
should
not
stick to the
one.
rules that have been
I'm not
established.
saying they are not
And there
one.
should be
I'm
room for
saying
adjustment
the
as well.
heart,
If something is
our
not
hearts
working,
and
then
mind
discuss
when
between
these things
themselves
are
again and
happening
make
must be right.
adjustments. That's
If not,
it for
it
me.
will lead to eventual problem at the end of the day. The man should see it that this woman is helping him. It is part of her help. It is part of her support. It is not her responsibility per se. It is not her primary responsibility. I don't think
if that's true, I get what you mean. Okay, I get what you mean.
So in situations like that, both of them should pull those resources together.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think the way your sentence was structured is now going to create doubt. Like when you say entitled now means entitled can work both ways. He's not entitled means he should not ask, and on her side she should not give. That was where I was like, that entitled.
Okay, no, that's
now going to create doubt.
That's not what I meant. Okay.
All right.
That's not what I meant. Some men in some communities, they will sit at home and allow their wife to go out and be working while they are just at home because they are the man and they can command anything to happen. I think men should take up that responsibility. Men should be loving. Men should be able to be selfless. Okay, but if circumstances now bring them to a point where the woman earns more, okay, he should be grateful and happy that God has provided a help for him. But the woman, and then that money should come together to raise the home and move the home forward because they are one in vision, one in goal. And the woman should also know that even though she earns more than the husband, okay, she is earning more than the husband to help him. She's not earning more than the husband for herself. She's earning more than the husband to help him. So she should make that money of no consequence in her home.
Yeah.
I keep saying this. Okay, the fact that she's earning 2 million naira, 3 million naira, is of no consequence in her home. She's still in the office of the wife, and the man is still in the office of the husband. The earning income difference does not swap the roles. Just the same way that I can be richer than my lecturer, but he's still in the office of the lecturer, and I'm still in the office of the student. Okay, some reverend fathers in Unizik, they have reverend fathers. They head parishes, but when they come to the school, they are subject to the authority of the VC. Even though they might be richer than the VC, maybe a very, very popular reverend father, but then they are still under his authority. So when it comes to the home, okay, the woman is still under the authority of the man, and the man is also under an authority. Very important of God, actually.
Thank you so much.
Of
Thank
God.
you so much. I feel like we've established very, very core and vital backgrounds to some of these things, and I feel like anybody that listens to this episode will really, really learn a lot. But on a closing note, I would just like us to end with a particular question, because I feel like we've spoken at length in context of marriage and politics. So I want to ask this question. Let us end on this note. What does it take in context of equality between a man and a woman, and in context of statements like submission, women knowing their roles as helpers and all of that? What does it take for a marriage to be successful?
Okay, for me, what makes for a successful home is a simple equation. Very, very simple equation. And some women might disagree at this point, but I have to tell them the truth, and they have to listen to the truth. And some men might also disagree, but they also have to listen to the truth. The equation is simple. Man, love your wife. Woman, submit to your husband. Simple. Okay, that dynamic has to be there for a marriage to be successful. One should not be missing. Okay, if a man loves his wife, the wife should be able to submit to his authority. And if a man loves his wife, there are some things he will not do to her, because there are men who don't love their wives, and their wives are submitted to them. It now turns to abuse, now turns to control, now turns to restriction. I read the story this morning of a girl that the husband does not allow her to bath or rub cream if they are going out for occasion. He does not like people bathing before going out. He does not like brushing teeth before going out. He does not like it. So now imagine that kind of a situation. If you are submitted to that kind of a man, it is hell. So as we are teaching women to submit to their men, we should also teach men to be able to love their wives in a sacrificial way. The reason most women are afraid to submit is because of fear of what men can use that position of authority and power God has given them to do. And men have not proven them any wrong. But some men have. Some men do prove them wrong, that men can use the power and authority they were given, not to abuse, not to control, but to make the woman better, to provide and protect the woman, to guard the woman and stand as a support for her. So, man, love your wife. Woman, submit to your husband. Submission is not weakness. You are not submitting because you are inferior. You are submitting because the demand God has placed on you. And when you do it, the marriage will head more forward. There is no ship, lastly, there is no ship that moves forward without a captain. There is no organization that moves forward without a leader. And that is the reason why there has to be a leader in the home. It is not partnership. I think Bisaya mentioned this on his status. It is not partnership per se. No. It's not partnership by equality in rank or position. No. It is partnership by submission. The husband has the veto power. He has the veto authority. And that veto authority is not something to cling on to. It's not something to be happy about. It's a responsibility. It's a burden. To always make sure that if anything happens to this woman, you are the one to be blamed. If you look at the Bible, when God came to ask, when the man fell, he did not ask Eve direct. He went to Adam. He went to Adam. What happened? But it's Eve that started the issue. But it's Adam that he asked. Because as a man, you are the leader. You are the one God recognizes. If she's sick, if she's down, it is your problem. You are the problem. If she's not doing well, you are the problem. The man is always the problem. That's the fact. Okay? But I'm not now saying this to excuse women. Women have to also conform by submitting. So that is the dynamic. Man love your wife. Wife submit to your husband. Yes.
We don't have much time. If not, I would have loved you to define what you mean by when you say submit, but it's fine. Because submission can be different.
Yes. No. Okay, yeah. So for my final words,
submission is trust in his leadership. Simple.
Trust in his leadership. Okay.
One word. My closing word on submission is what a lot of people don't understand is a submissive woman controls the home, and that's what people don't understand. But people don't understand. So if that dynamic that people spoke about exists, a submissive woman will always control the home. I've seen it plenty times happen. But then again, another point in school made that I felt was really necessary was that the burden of leadership of the man heading the home. Because, okay, if you let's look at this recent case with this singer, Simi, when they were dragging her. There was a popular set of tweets that started coming up. They were like, why did Adekule Gold not collect her phone? It was looking like meme, but I saw truth inside that thing. Because if Simi could be doing that thing, it's already a dent on Adekule Gold's name, despite the fact that he's not the one making those tweets.
Yeah.
So you can see how if he took his stance to ensure that she doesn't do so, or if he had been a man, if he had been man enough to tell her to take that thing down, I don't think this thing will have dragged her. And now they've already cancelled her, and it's unfortunate. So for a marriage to work, there has to be leadership from the man, submission from the woman, understanding that the submissive woman controls the home. That's all I have to say.
Wow. I think this has been a very, very, very insightful conversation. Thank you so much to you guys. Like, I personally have learned a lot because when it comes to things like marriage and relationships, I don't like to delve too much inside of it, but I appreciate you guys so much. I've really, really learned to know a lot. Do you guys have any final shout outs to our audience before we end this episode?
I'll shout out to Auntie Gloria and our sponsor.
Shout out to Auntie Gloria. Thank you so much. All right, now thank you so much, Satuchiku. Thank you so much.
I want to shout out to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You too.
Yes, I want to shout out to all the women who still believe in the family, who still believe in raising children, taking care of them, who still believe in supporting their husbands, who still believe in the role that God has given them in this life. And I also want to shout out to all the men who are good male friends, their female friends, who stand as a support, who help to culture them, to teach them, to inspire them, and to provide that masculine energy in their lives.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ike. Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much, Tuchbi. It has been a wonderful time as usual having you guys here again on the show. Have a nice day.